You know what's wild? Some of the most popular products from the 1980s are now completely illegal. We're talking everyday items that sat in your home, your bathroom, your backyard. Some of them will shock you. Others, you'll wonder how anyone survived the decade. Stick around for number 4. It was in 90% of American bathrooms. Number 1. Lawn darts. The backyard game that was basically medieval warfare marketed to families. These things were everywhere in the 1980s. 12-inch steel-tipped darts you'd hurl through the air, trying to land them in a plastic ring on the grass. Picture horseshoes, but with actual metal weapons. Every barbecue, every family reunion, kids and adults tossing these things around while someone manned the grill. Here's the terrifying part. Between 1980 and 1988, over 6,000 Americans ended up in emergency rooms because of lawn darts. 81% were kids under 15. Half were under 10. These darts hit with an estimated 23,000 pounds per square inch. Enough to penetrate a skull. 3 children died. In April 1987, 7-year-old Michelle Snow was playing in her California front yard when a stray dart came over the fence and killed her. Her father, David, spent 18 months lobbying Washington. He made 7 trips to D.C. and testified before Congress. In December 1988, the Consumer Product Safety Commission banned lawn darts. Canada followed months later. One grieving father up against an entire industry. He kept his promise to his little girl. Michelle Snow would have been in her 40s now. Number 2. CFC aerosol sprays. That can of hairspray, it was destroying the entire planet. Chlorofluorocarbons were in everything that went psht. Hairspray, deodorant, bug spray, cleaning products. The average American household had 30 to 40 spray cans sitting around. The bigger your hair, the more you sprayed. Nobody questioned what mysterious gas was making everything whoosh out of the can. Here's what was actually happening. CFCs rise into the stratosphere and destroy the ozone layer. That's the thing protecting you from cancer-causing ultraviolet radiation. In 1985, scientists discovered a massive hole forming over Antarctica. Without that ozone layer, we're talking epidemic skin cancer, cataracts, widespread crop failures. One researcher described the potential future as apocalyptic. September 1987, 27 nations signed the Montreal Protocol, the first global environmental treaty ever. Today, all 197 UN member countries have ratified it. CFCs are banned worldwide. A 2021 study found the ban prevented an additional 2.5 degrees of global warming. The ozone layer is healing. For once in human history, the entire world actually agreed on something. Your Aquanet habit almost cooked the planet, but this time, we actually managed to fix it. Number 3. Clackers. 2 balls on a string. What could possibly go wrong? Everything. They went by a dozen names. Kerr-bangers, click-clacks, knockers. The concept was stupidly simple. 2 heavy acrylic balls connected by a string to a finger tab. You'd swing them up and down, smacking them together over and over. That rhythmic clacking sound echoed through every playground in America. Kids were absolutely addicted to them. Here's the problem with smashing 2 hard plastic balls together at high speed. They explode. The acrylic would shatter on impact, sending shrapnel flying everywhere. Into faces, into eyes. Early versions were made of tempered glass, which was even worse. Kids ended up with black eyes, bloody noses, facial lacerations. Some were literally scarred for life. Others figured out you could swing them at people. In 1976, the FDA classified clackers as a mechanical hazard. This led to one of the greatest lawsuit names in legal history. United States versus article consisting of 50,000 cardboard boxes, more or less, each containing one pair of clacker balls. In 1985, they were officially banned. Imagine being the government lawyer who had to argue that case with a straight face. 50,000 boxes of clacker balls. Number 4. Asbestos hairdryers. Every morning, you were blowing cancer directly at your face. Throughout the late 70s and early 80s, 90% of hairdryer manufacturers used asbestos as insulation. Conair, General Electric, Gillette, Sunbeam, Sears, all the major brands. The asbestos lined the heating element as a heat shield. Millions of Americans used these things daily without a second thought. Just part of the morning routine. Here's what was actually happening inside that dryer. When you turned it on, it expelled microscopic asbestos fibers, blown directly into your breathing zone. In 1979, the National Institute for Occupational Safety and Health tested 30 different models. The results were alarming. Fiber levels exceeded OSHA's permissible exposure limits. An estimated 5 million dryers were actively dangerous. Hairdressers got the worst of it, exposed for hours every single day. March 1979. A TV investigation blew the story open. The Consumer Product Safety Commission summoned all major manufacturers to Washington. A massive recall followed. 18 million dryers affected. Only 3 million were actually returned. The rest stayed in bathrooms for years. Some of those hairdressers are just now getting their diagnosis. Mesothelioma, 40 years later, from drying people's hair. Number 5. Missile-firing toys. The Christmas gift that changed toy safety forever. In 1978, Battlestar Galactica was the hottest show on television. Mattel released a line of toy spaceships to match. The Cylon Raider, the Colonial Viper, the Stellar Probe. Each one came with tiny spring-loaded missiles that actually fired. Little red plastic projectiles you could launch across the room. Every kid wanted one under the tree that December. Here's the problem. Those missiles were only 1¼ inches long, small enough to fit in a child's mouth. On Christmas Day, 1978, 4-year-old Robert Jeffrey Warren was playing with his new Cylon Raider in Atlanta. The missile discharged into his mouth and lodged in his larynx. He was rushed to the hospital. 6 days later, on New Year's Eve, Robert died from complications. January 1979, Mattel initiated a massive recall. The missile mail-in program let parents exchange the projectiles for a free Hot Wheels car. All future toys were redesigned with missiles that couldn't fire. The tragedy also killed Kenner's planned rocket-firing Boba Fett figure before it ever shipped. That's why your Star Wars toys never shot anything. One Christmas morning in Atlanta changed every toy that came after. Number 6. Tanning beds for minors. The cancer machines we happily sent teenagers into. The indoor tanning industry exploded in the mid-80s. By the end of the decade, 28 million Americans were using tanning beds regularly. Teenage girls were a prime target. Prom season meant booking tanning appointments. A bronzed glow was the beauty standard. and nobody was checking IDs. You could be 15 years old and climb into one of these things without a single question. Here's what those beds actually do. They blast you with ultraviolet radiation 2 to 3 times stronger than the sun at the equator at noon. Using a tanning bed before age 35 increases your melanoma risk by 75%. For young women between 18 and 29, 76% of their melanomas are now linked to tanning bed use. In 2009, the World Health Organization classified tanning beds as a Group 1 carcinogen, same category as tobacco and asbestos. Australia banned commercial tanning beds entirely. California became the first US state to ban minors in 2011. Today, 44 states have some form of restriction for anyone under 18. The tan you got for prom in 1987 might still be doing damage. At least your kids can't make the same mistake. So there you have it. Products that seemed completely normal in the 1980s, now illegal for very good reasons. Every one of these bans came after injuries, deaths, and decades of preventable harm. The 80s gave us incredible music, unforgettable fashion, and apparently a lot of ways to accidentally kill ourselves. If you survived the decade, consider yourself lucky. Hit subscribe for more nostalgia that will make you grateful for safety regulations. Drop a comment with what shocked you most.